morning. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. His name, folks, Dale Hillestray in the house.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
You're giving me a little false enthusiasm earlier this morning.
What I'm doing. That's what I do. I'm tired today.
You're tired?
I screwed up.
After you just told me how much you've been sleeping.
Yeah, but still tired. Still tired.
Trying to catch up from the weekend?
Yeah, that's the problem. So second day back is the worst day back, which is Tuesday, right? But no, yesterday we did the pit stop yesterday. We just did it a day early because we have a couple of things today and tomorrow that we have to take care of. So I just did it a day early, got it done. Got home at like 1:30. Was starving, ate some lunch. My daughter came down. She wanted to go driving. So we went to grab her a bite to eat. So she drove me there, drove me home, everything. I remember 4:30.
Wow.
That's all I remember.
Wow.
And then I woke up at like 8, all like what year is it? And then, of course, I was up till 1 in the morning after that.
Oh, that's no good.
And then, then you have to get up at, 4:35 like normal. So then you feel tired. And I've been good, but it's going to hit me at some point where I'm just going to be like, I'm tired again. So today I got to fight it off.
Do not get in that habit, Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget when I was doing those, what do they call NFL Europe. And you go over there for 2 or 3 weeks. And one of the announcers, I think it was Trevor Maddich. First day he got over there, you always land in the morning for some reason.
Jet lag, yeah, because you fly overnight.
Yeah, you fly all night, whatever, and the time change, and blah, blah, blah. They say don't go to sleep.
Nope. Stay awake.
Don't go to sleep. Well, Trevor Maddich went to sleep.
He's all screwed
And
up.
evidently for 2.5 weeks.
Because it was middle of the night depending where you're at. But
Right.
it was night. It's still night. He should be asleep when you land.
Right.
Yeah.
But you want to acclimate to their time as much as possible.
Yeah. You want to sleep on the plane if possible because it's the overnight simulation.
The first time I went over there, I think it was with the Raiders. We went over to London because I was still healthy, hadn't hurt myself yet. No, I guess it was the second year. Went over to London, and they took us to a park, like Central Park.
Yeah.
Stopped the buses and said, all right, we're going to run. It's like, we're going to do what?
Wake you up a little bit? Did they make you travel in suits back then?
No. Okay. Casual over to London. So. But yeah, that you get off kilter.
No, I got to be careful today, man. And I got with that landlord thing, I got a court thing today at 11. So right after this show, I'm out of here. Kobe, Ethan, and you can shut everything down. I'm out of here for that. So I got that. That'll probably take an hour or two. I don't know how long. Who knows?
No, we'll be back tomorrow?
No, we'll find out. We'll find out. They'll be prepared. No, it'll be fine. I don't know. Nothing's going to happen. But so I got that at 11.
Okay.
And then it's going to be like, all right. And then 112, 114. Obviously, I'm not used to that. I was just in 75-degree weather. So so I'm like, all right, today I got to force myself to stay awake. I'll go to bed early. I got to force myself to stay awake today because I can't fall into this trap that I fell into yesterday. I just remember waking up because my kid's mom got back. She was on vacation. She got back yesterday, and they picked her up on the. So I was like just sitting there, like, oh, she's gonna get picked up here soon. They landed, and she's gonna get picked up soon. And I woke up at one point. It was all I got was we got Ireland, and I'm like, okay, that here. I'm asleep. Leave me alone.
Who's calling me?
Can't fall into that. I'll just text it.
Yeah.
But I can't fall. I know. I have no doubt. My daughter probably came in and was like, "I'm leaving," and I was just like, well, "Whatever." Unconscious. Daniel, I gotta watch that today. But that's why I'm a little off today. A little tired.
Yeah.
It just messes with your sleep patterns a little bit. But we'll get it fixed today, hopefully. I forgot to plug my car in last night.
Oh my god.
So last night at 1 in the morning, I ran downstairs and got it semi-charged.
Now, let's be honest.
It was pretty low, too. It was like at 25% yesterday.
Did you actually run downstairs?
No, actually, it's about 11 o'clock. I was like, I didn't plug my car in. So I was like, I was still up, And then I did that thing where I laid down and I was watching videos on the phone. So I was like in and out of sleep, for a couple hours. And then at 1, I was like, dude, go plug that car in, man. Go plug that car in. I would have made it here, but the problem is, like I said, I got to stop. I got to stop on the way home. So I might end up at a public charger at some point. I have plenty now, but
if you didn't, you're in a little bit of
just
trouble.
have to stop at a public charger and spend the money when it's 112 degrees out. That'll be fun.
Do you notice that it changes throughout the day, or is it certain hours?
It charges slower right now because it's so hot out. Even
Okay.
at night, right? 90 degrees in my garage or whatever it is.
Right.
So it charges slower, and that was the problem. Normally in the wintertime, it would charge right up to 80% from 1 to 4 in the morning, no problem. Only went up to like 55% in that time frame. That's just because the battery's hot, and you got to cool it down, and it runs energy and all that garbage stuff. So that's what I'm dealing with. My fault. Should have plugged it in. My bad. But no, it'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yes. Just like Zach Gallen will be fine. Just like Steve McCollum will be fine. Everything's fine.
It's funny, man. Everybody's on this mixed Zach Gallen thing. Of course, we're going to talk about him today after his outing yesterday. It's funny to read the tea leaves because people are like, he's getting better. His ERA went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he still had a terrible inning. So
And it just happened to be the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Put you behind. And what did we say yesterday? What did I say? I know I said it. I don't know if Dale was on board with it. But I said it's going to be a terrible hitting day. They hit all those home runs and everything the day before in game 1. So I'm like, today's night's going to be this terrible outing where they're going to score like 1 run. And what did they do? 1 run.
They scored 1 run. They had 5 hits.
You could just see it coming, a Tory team coming. We'll talk about this because I do have a question for you, Dale.
Okay.
We'll get into this with baseball. We're going to cover baseball first here. Big 12 Media Day was yesterday for your Arizona State Sun Devils, and your boy Dion doing his Dion thing yesterday.
Boy,
just rubs me the wrong way, and it's not. I guess it's not bad. It's just the me attitude of him drives me, especially when you're a player. Be a me player if you want to. I know you have a different opinion on that, playing with the guy.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be a me player, players, locker rooms can handle that, deal with it themselves. But when you're a head coach and you're a me head coach, it bothers the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what he said yesterday as well. But I do have some Kenny Dillingham clips we'll get into coming up here. Nothing, only fireworks in Arizona's today, by the way, in the 2-day Big 12 Media Day event. So we'll see what
You mean the highest ranked university in Arizona?
Highest ranked for what?
Football.
For losing money?
For football.
For having a disgruntled athletic director who basketball coach hates? That highest ranking one?
As long as they win football games, Stevie.
Well, they'll talk about Kenny Dillingham. We'll look at, obviously, Arizona and Brennan today. No fireworks yesterday, but, man, some of those reporter guys that covered Texas Tech, man, they are just brutal with the way that they feel Texas Tech is. Brent Yarmark was a complete jerk to one of them yesterday. I didn't get the video or anything. I saw it. But my opinion of Brent Yarmark's changing. I'm not sure I like the guy.
Okay.
I'm not sure he's leading the conference in the right direction. But then he treated this guy like, made him stand up. The guy asked his question sitting down.
Right.
Made him stand up, and he goes, I didn't repeat that question, but stand up next time you talk to me. Had the guy repeat it, and then he goes, and then he answers the question, rudely. And I'm just like, and of course it's about Texas Tech and, possibly leaving the conference and the way they're treated. Basically the question was, why is Cincinnati not being looked at for the Sorsby thing and Texas Tech thing?
Oh, okay.
And Yarmark just had some smart aleck response that he did and everything like that. And I'm just like, man, this guy just rubs me the wrong way sometimes as a commissioner. I'm not sure he's doing the right things for the
Well,
conference.
you had to be, don't you think that you had to be prepared? That you knew that was going to lead and probably dominate the entire...
And it did. Lawsuits, legislation led a lot of... Yeah, right there, Dale?
Yeah.
Usually got to worry about me falling apart on the air here, and it's Dale now. While Dale's dealing with that issue, no, it was a lot of legislation. It was a lot of lawsuit talk yesterday on the first day, but obviously Texas Tech was yesterday.
Right.
I think that'll settle down today. Maybe not because Cincinnati's up today. And the NCAA has said they've sent a letter to Cincinnati to find out their dealings with Sorsby.
So maybe them outing Sorsby might come back to.
I'm not going to say it was somebody at Cincinnati.
Boy,
I'm going to say it was somebody within the Cincinnati orbit, though. It could have been a big-time booster that offered him money, and now he's leaving and doing that. It could have been a booster that has tie. We do know that the federal government was the one that outed it and investigated. But what we don't know is how they found out about it.
Hey, you might want to look into this.
Yeah, so a big booster has a tie with an FBI agent. I'm just throwing it out there. This isn't fact. Has a big tie with an FBI agent and goes, hey, now we talk all the time about improprieties in football, et cetera. Here's what Texas Tech's done. Here's what we know Sorsby done. Gambling and things to that effect. Just throwing it out there, at a party,
Now that he's in Lubbock.
Now that he's taken the money and went to Lubbock,
right.
And then somebody looks into it and runs with it, so there's a deniability. So that might pick up today, but we'll talk a little Big 12 with Kenny Dillingham as well. And I got to get my little comment on Coach Prime. I just can't wait for this Dion experience to end.
What's fascinating is that last night Brooke and I were going through Netflix because, there's no World Cup to watch. And
well, yeah, all the games are during the day. Fantastic games, by the
way. Right. I know you'll probably want to get into that, but
yes,
the Cowboys, the gambler, and his Cowboys or whatever that thing is called with Jerry Jones and the
Netflix one, right?
Yeah. And we had watched some of it, and then watched like 2 episodes last night, and one of them was the signing of Dion, and just brought back my stomach is churning, and oh gosh.
Well, since people haven't heard this story yet, of course, you're a big part of this team. They went out. Dion had just was he on that 49ers team that beat you in the in the deal?
Yes.
In the NFC Championship game to keep you from 3 consecutive Super Bowls.
Yes.
And then that year, he's all of a sudden a free agent, and you guys will have a chance to get him. Tell the story about how that went down from your perspective inside the locker room, bringing Dion into the Cowboys.
Well, it was interesting because I'm sorry, I don't know what's in my throat, but Jerry told the team we have a chance to sign Dion. He called about 12 of us veterans into his office.
Kind of like a leadership group?
Yeah, and an unofficial leadership group and whatever. And sat down and gave all the pros and cons and then the Michaels. And
they're selling you on Deion Sanders, the talent of Dion.
Well, because he was going to make more money than Troy, Michael, and Emmett.
Okay.
Want to know how that's going to go in the locker room. The scouting report on Dion that, great team player.
This is what fascinates me the most.
Great team player, great practice player, hard worker, on and on and on. Obviously a sales job. So, we all said, because the talent was there's no question about his talent.
Absolutely.
And we did need another cornerback.
One of the best, if not the best cornerbacks to ever play the game.
Yes. And so everybody kind of signed off on it, signed him. He shows up in October that year because he's playing baseball.
The Braves went to the playoff run.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so he showed up in October and quickly found out that we practice in pads Wednesdays and Thursdays. And they're pretty physical practices. Yeah. And that's just the way we had always done things. Under Jimmy, Barry continued that. And found out that Dion doesn't practice in pads. Oh, again, third person, I don't practice in pads. And
what did he declare that in front of you guys, or was it just
no? He just showed up to practice.
And Dion's not there.
And Dion was there or come out with just a helmet.
Yeah. I can just see him looking at Troy going, Dion don't play practice.
And remember, you have Troy, who already won a couple Super Bowls. You had Emmett, who was the MVP 2 years before that. You had Michael. We all just practice in pads. There are no questions asked and all that. And so Dion not only came out to practice like that, didn't go to Barry Switzer, the head coach.
Oh,
He
I
went
forgot.
to Jerry.
I forgot that was Barry Switzer. You
Oh yeah, I mean, if Jimmy,
you gotta leave that. You gotta leave that. You gotta have that nugget because would that have happened with Jimmy?
Dude, it would not have happened with Jimmy. But he didn't go to the head coach. He went to the owner.
Yeah.
And so not only does he not practice in pads, and Emmett, Michael, Troy are noticing this, but then find out we have to lift 2 days a week during the season. Dion doesn't lift weights. A lot of things about Dion that only apply to Dion.
Yeah.
And then you find out, okay, well, the other defensive backs are like, well, if Dion doesn't have to do mandatory lifts, why do I? Well,
and he's making more than these guys that have MVPs and multiple world championships and all that stuff.
But why doesn't he have to lift, but I have to, so maybe I don't have to lift? Well, you're not as good as him, and you're not as talented as him. That's one of the reasons. And if you want to stay in the league, you might want to continue to work out. But anyway, he just changed the whole vibe of the team. That was, we followed Troy, Michael, and Emmett. They were all hard workers. They all followed Jimmy. And now Dion comes in, and now things start to fracture. And Troy and I've gone around about it. He thinks when Jay Novacek got injured was the start of the downfall for the Cowboys.
And I could see that from Troy's perspective because he was such a big target.
Yeah. And I've always said it was Dion and the unraveling of discipline and all that. We somehow, some way won the Super Bowl in 95 by the hair of our chinny chin because we were ready to fold towards the end of the season. There are some games that didn't.
That was the Steelers game, right?
That was the Steelers Super Bowl.
Thank goodness Neil O'Donnell was on the other side throwing the football.
They threw a couple passes. I forgot how wide open Larry was on those.
He was the receiver, man.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted you to reiterate that just because it is interesting. I just want to know, going back to that, for those of you that, if you've heard that story 100 times, we apologize, but I find it fascinating with what I'm about to say about Dion. But then also, that scouting report they came in with, was that just Jerry Jones trying to sell you veterans?
Oh, I think the more I think about it, yes. And
because I know Dion had teammate problems before that were known about. Like in San Francisco, there were issues coming out of So the fact that they were telling you hard worker and things like that, it was well known he didn't like to tackle and do things his own way. And I'm just going off of my old memory back then. So I'm fascinated on how the ownership was like, oh, here's his thing. This is what he does, guys.
Right.
But I'm bringing that up and everything just because Dion yesterday goes to Big 12 Media Day. And they ask him, and Ethan's playing this on the Xbox, the new college football. I think it's 27 this year. Maybe it's 26. No, college football 27 from EA Sport. Ethan's already started playing it. He's got it advanced. It's not out for the PlayStation yet, but it's out on the Xbox. He's been playing it. But Dion's not in the game. So they asked him about it yesterday. Dale, do you think this was a Dion response of, it's all about my team, I want my players on that, and I don't want the focus to be on me? Or do you think Dion made it about himself?
Well, if I'm a betting man, I think Dion's talking about himself.
Dion's exact quote was, if I'm not in the game, that means they weren't paying enough.
He's a coach.
Hey, that's my point.
Who gives a damn?
Who do you think you are?
And again, I was almost warming up to Dion a little bit as a coach because it seemed like he was kind of talking about holding players accountable and going to class.
He's big on that.
And all that
If they
stuff.
wear the wrong socks.
Yeah.
Wrong color socks on a certain day, he sends them home.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They're superstars.
And so I was thinking
they're stars.
He might be turning a corner, but he just can't help himself.
No. And it's just, that's fine if you feel that way because you don't make that much off of it. And I get it. You have a likeness and things to that effect. So I understand that, but just to put that out there on Big 12 Media Day just rubbed me the wrong way of, wow, way to make it about yourself, coach.
Right.
You could have taken that $700,000, whatever it is. You could have put it toward your school's NIL, which I know is not a lot, but you could have done that and helped your school out. But instead, you're going, oh, they're not paying enough for me to be involved in that. It just rubbed me the wrong way. It did. It just rubbed me the wrong way. That was after Kenny Dillingham spoke. So all this positivity and all this moving forward and everything, and then Dion gets up there and they're not paying enough.
You talk about strange bedfellows. Evidently, Dion admires Dillingham,
They've
and
been good friends. They tried coaching together at one point,
right?
And stuff like that. Isn't that weird?
Oh,
yeah. It's just the way Dion coaches. If you don't know, he's the figurehead. He just stands on the sideline, or nowadays sits on the sideline because of his health. But he's got guys that run everything,
right?
And he shows up to practices late, from what I've heard over time. Doesn't show up at all some days and lets the coaches run everything. And during games, he just does his input and lets them do whatever, and he just takes the credit, which to me, that's the way you should coach. I don't like these coaches that are offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators.
I understand that, but still.
Be the figurehead, but you still have to be engaged in the sport.
To try and hold your players accountable, but yet you're not?
Well, that's the issue. How do you look at your kids and be like, well, they're not paying me enough. Well, that's good enough for you. The $700 you get is probably good enough for you. But for me, it's not good enough for me to be on there. It just drives me the wrong way. In today's day and age, it stands out even more than it did as a coach. It's supposed to be on. And like I said, keep this in mind. I'm watching this after Kenny Dillingham spoke yesterday. The contrast is so different. It's not even funny out there. But I don't know. I just wanted to comment about my buddy Dion. By the way, Dion has 2 Super Bowls back-to-back years, right? With the Niners that one year.
Yep.
They beat you, and then 96 there with Barry and you guys right after that. It's interesting.
So did Dillingham get you all fired up for the season?
No, because Dillingham, I appreciate what I got to be careful how I phrase this. People are gonna be like, "How can you hate Kenny?" I don't. I love Kenny Dillingham. Love him.
Okay.
He's a breath of fresh air in the college football world. To the point where I used to be a big Dabo Swinney fan. Kenny Dillingham's changed my mind on Dabo Swinney, where I'm like, Dabo Swinney's the old guy, get off my lawn guy if I don't like how college football's changing type stuff, to where I can't stand the guy anymore. So, Kenny Dillingham has changed my perspective on a lot of coaches in college football and how they handle things and stuff like that. Really quick, before we get into that, some comments here on the YouTube page. Don't forget, follow us, TME Media AZ. Like, subscribe to the page, and then, of course, join the online chat as well. Robert says, golf day? No, I'm just up for court. Jacket on and go. Oh, you're talking about Dale.
So you get dressed up for court. You don't wear like a Megadeth or AC/DC T-shirt to court? No.
While the prosecution and the judge is trying to, screw me over, I gotta look good.
Okay.
Gotta look good while they're trying to screw you over, Dale.
Right.
I know. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Just a joke.
I'm not going to get you in any more trouble than you already are.
But no, yeah, Dale, of course. Wednesday, Dale. They moved the golf times back, so Dale's golfing on Wednesdays again.
Well, and this might be the last one for a little bit.
Yeah, good luck for a late one today.
112.
Well, Friday, go out early on Friday.
We are going out earlier.
Yeah, I was going to say, go out early on Friday.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we're taking Fridays off here until like the end of this month when the Cardinals get into camp. So around July 22nd, we'll be coming back on Fridays. But this Friday, special treat for you, Lou fans. Lou's coming in on Friday this week. Going to come in for an hour remotely to talk, obviously, Conor McGregor this weekend. So we're going to come in for about an hour on Friday, 9 o'clock, as last I heard. I'll let you know by tomorrow if that time changes. For Uncle Lou's segment coming up on Friday. So just be aware. Coming into that, we'll do it live, of course, like we do, and everything, and then put it on demand as well. So just a programming note for you guys out there as well. I invited Dale, but he was like, screw you. We're having Fridays off. I'm out of here.
I can't squeeze a word in edgewise when it's Steve and Lou.
You just got to learn how to get in that conversation.
Well, where is Lou? Is he traveling?
He's in,
I thought I saw he was in Omaha.
Okay, so is he posting? Okay, he's in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he had posted it or not. But yeah, he comes back tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's why he's got to come in on Friday. But he's visiting family there in Kansas City. His family's from that area and
Omaha.
all of that. No, he's in Kansas City.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, I think his mom's still in Kansas City. I think it's his mom that's there. Somebody's there that he goes and visits and everything. And all right, if he posted it, I'll announce it where he's at. Robert also says, don't have to wear pads in practice and don't have to tackle in games. Lucky he had Darren Woodson on the other side.
Yes, he did.
That's just my thing. I remember Shiloh Sanders, first time I saw him in person for Colorado. And he looked like Dion, moved like Dion. He didn't like to tackle like Dion. He made, like with ASU, he went in for like the softest tackle. And I went, just like his dad. That was his notch there on that side. So I just wanted to get the comment. Join the chat as well, folks. Of course, YouTube as well. Like, subscribe there, and join us. And Dale, we'll get into the Big 12 Media Day here.
Yeah.
Kenny Dillingham was asked, generally this question was, Kenny Dillingham takes a lot of criticism for openly asking people for money, growing the program. He takes a lot of criticism for that.
Does he really?
But he's also getting the money. I agree, and I agree with that criticism. I just don't like your head coach out there, hat in hand, asking for money.
Yeah, but
I feel like it should be another.
Again, I think at certain schools that would come across as distasteful.
Who was the guy in Alabama?
Nick Saban?
Nick Saban asked his people for money. He just did it behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, that is one difference. Kenny is in front of the cameras.
That's what I don't like. Yeah,
but he's gotten results,
yes.
and so you can argue, well, if he doesn't ask, does he get?
Yeah, and asking public. Well, what Kenny also has to do is Alabama doesn't have a ton of money, but I'm just using Alabama as an example. They got enough people around the program that you can go to and ask, and they give it.
Right.
Kenny's trying to reach out to people not associated with ASU. Like, for instance, we have a big tech industry here.
Right.
I'm just going to throw Taiwan Semiconductor there, but you can do Intel or whatever. They don't know ASU from a hole in the wall. All their executives are from Taiwan and things to that. He's trying to get to those people, saying, hey, come support the program and things to that effect. Whereas Alabama, all the car dealerships in Alabama know Alabama football, and stuff to that effect. So that's why Kenny does it. But he does take some crap for that and everything. And like I said, it rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I understand why he does it, and I kind of just ignore it if I can. But he talked about that yesterday. This is Kenny Dillingham on more Kobe as well. So here's what he had to say about that during Big 12 Media Day.
You just ask a coach if he's content, right? Obviously, the answer is no, right? We'll never be content, right? You're always striving to be better. You're always striving to push better, push for more, push for more. And the day that I stop trying to push for more, right, is the day that I'm complacent and content. And that's not what you want, right? You should always want more. You should always push for more. And I think that's just the nature of the world we're in today, but it's the nature of how sports have been forever, is you always want more, you push for more. I'll say the athletic department, the president, they've definitely gotten way more involved in terms of what they want this program to be. From my 4 years here, there's been unbelievable growth in who we are as an athletic department, as a university, their support for football, and we're building a new indoor facility that's going to be state of the art, one of the best indoor facilities in the country, and we're continuing to try to get better and better and better. But I'll never be satisfied. I'll always want more. I'll always push to want more, and I think anybody who wants to be the very best is going to want the same.
Before you say anything, I just want to point out, and I watched all the coaches yesterday. I'll go back and watch all the coaches today and stuff to that effect. He's just a breath of fresh air. Nobody else talks like this.
He's got a nice speaking voice. He's obviously very energetic. Got a good hour nap on the way to Dallas.
They were at the World Cup game the day before.
Were they really?
The players that are there were in all to that World Cup game.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and here's the thing. I mean, he brought up a couple things. I don't know what the exact question was, but
well, it was basically like you're out there asking for money, and why do you do that type of stuff?
Okay.
So that's what he meant by content. There was, are you going to ever stop doing that? Or that was kind of the intention of the deal, is what you're out front. wanting
Yeah,
more
well,
and more.
and again, I think I go back to when we first talked about it was the fact that when you look at ASU and the strides they've made in the last couple of years, they still haven't really arrived.
Yeah.
They've made improvements. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with him just publicly making that ask. He's not.
Well, I mean, there's asking, but it just sometimes, like when he did that in front of the Tillman statue, it was like, dude, you look like you're begging.
Oh, I didn't see that.
After he signed his contract extension, he's out there going, I know there's somebody in town that can sign a two-digit, check and all this stuff. And you're just like, dude.
Well, it's worked.
You got that coaching endowment or whatever, right? For several $1 million.
So anyway, I think the way he does it, it's fine. I've heard other coaches make it sound like it's not palatable.
It's not just coaches; it's media, it's fans, and stuff to that effect. I get why he does it; it's working for him and stuff. But the other thing about those comments that he made there, that I just love to death.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you the thing that jumped out to me was you never become content and complacent. Yeah. And I still and that just brings me back to my Dallas days and the fact that you win your first Super Bowl and it's euphoric and it's a dream from being a kid and wow, you just finally reached that pinnacle and you enjoy it for 3 or 4 days and it's like, oh, we got to
do it again.
We got to get ready for next year.
Does it make you want it more?
Yeah. It was it's a mental game you got to play with yourself.
Because there's that Super Bowl hangover they talk about.
You got Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah.
Remember, the other 30 other teams, 28 other teams back then, they'd had a 6-week head start on you.
Yeah, that's the other side of it.
And getting ready for the off season, and their bodies are all healed up and they're working out again, and you're still dealing with your nonsense.
You're still out celebrating it all and everything. But that's what I was going to say is fourth year for Kenny Dillingham going into this year, and they've done something ASU programs don't do. They've won 19 games. A lot of coaches would get content going into this year. We saw a little bit of content last year, remember, where he had to take over the program again and say, hey, we left it to the students and penalties got involved. The players and the leadership. He's like, we had to go back in there and wrestle that back from them and take control of the program again.
Right.
So we learned that lesson last year. And it's refreshing in the fourth year seeing a coach basically be the same guy he was when he was hired, because it's easy to settle it. I don't know if you can keep it up for the long term. I question how long you can do this before content gets in or just burn yourself out. I do question that. But it's just refreshing in the fourth year that he's still the same message as he was 2 years ago, 4 years ago. I think it's fantastic. You just don't see this anywhere else. Most coaches, watch any other coach. Watch Brennan today, Arizona fans. Tell me you feel the same. That's all I'm going to say. Different. I'm not saying it's bad. It's different. Brendan's not gonna make you want to get up and run through a wall like Kenny Dillingham did yesterday. Right? And stuff to that effect. He does talk about another thing that coaches go through, right? They just get tired of all the nonsense around college. The constant changing. You're doing things one way, and all of a sudden, new rules come out. You have to switch it. The NIL changes, and you have to switch how you do that and stuff like that. So in one of those media scrums that they have here, Kenny Dillingham was asked about changes and the constant changes around college football. Here's what Kenny had to say about those changes.
Yeah, you got to be willing to change. I mean, it's hard. The part is the rules change. So you may have a strategy and a strategy that you believe is the best. And then something happens and that strategy is no longer the best. And you got to be able to adapt, and you got to be able to convince people of why you changed, because people don't like change. Most people don't want to change. What you've been doing is what you want to stay doing. So, however, in this age of college sports, it's like, okay, this is the best way. You come in a week later. Hey, we're doing it this way. We just went through doing it this way. We had a 3-hour meeting, right? And you got to create complete buy-in through an entire institution on maybe a slight change or maybe a drastic change to your approach because something changed in the landscape. And you got to be willing to do that because the landscape is changing. I mean, every few months there could be a drastic different turn in this thing, and you got to be willing to turn with it. If you're not willing to turn with it, I think you're begging to underachieve.
Well, and what's fascinating to me is because of that, I think you're going to see the college coaching profession continue to get younger and younger and younger. These older guys
don't want to deal with it,
who've been doing it a certain way for a long time. Because he's right. When you sit down with an entire football department, and believe me, there's a lot of people when you have a full staff and secretary and all that meeting.
Your compliance division
and you sit down and you go over something and you spend 2 or 3 hours. This is the rule, but and all of a sudden you get a memo. 2 weeks later, it's like
throw everything we talked about out.
We got to go to another meeting and all that. But I think that's why you continue to see the coaching get younger.
And what I want to see is how these young guys, how long they're able to do it.
Right.
If
you could look at a crystal ball and see Kenny Dillingham in 10 years.
Well, and this is what's interesting to me. Well, I've often said that. I'd be shocked if he's still here.
Well, whether wherever he is, does he still talk like he's talking right now? Does he still have that energy that, my guess would be no.
I was just reading today, one reporter came out and was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Dillingham's in the NFL in 2 years to get out of this college system type of thing. That's a legit threat, like you're talking about. And then I brought up Dabo Swinney earlier, right? You got some guys that got out of the profession, of course, and I just forgot his name again, the Alabama guy. Nick Saban. I don't know why I can't think of his name today. You have him that was just like, all right, I'm done. I'm out of here. This is ridiculous. Writing a 197-page manifesto on how to change college football in this environment now type of stuff. Then you got guys like Dabo Swinney, who's over there at Clemson and refuses. He got his first transfer last year, and there was some guy that played special teams for him. He finally gave into it. Refuses to deal with the system. And, I took some flack on Twitter last week when Dabo was like, I'm not putting money into a kid that doesn't want to be here. And he basically said, if we want him back, he's going to come back here or else he's not going to be part of our team originally. And I took that as, well, Dabo wants to be the one to tell him that he's not. So that takes a chance on the coach. It doesn't work out. Coach fires him and tells him to move on. That's what Dabo wants. He doesn't want the kid to make that decision. Then some people jumped on me. I'm talking about Lou. Lou jumped on me for that. Then you got guys like Dabo who are holding on to the end, and his record and everything has suffered because of holding on to that old style. But even go back a little bit. Before Kenny Dillingham was hired, what was the number one complaint about Ray Anderson and Dr. Crow? They refused to change. Right. We're not doing NIL the way everybody else is, what they always said. All of a sudden, Graham Rossini comes in and it changes. All of a sudden, Kenny Dillingham gets here, it changes even more, and they fully embrace it. Change is important. And to hear a head coach talk that way, where you could hear the frustration, I guess you could say, in that answer, but at the same time, he still embraces those changes. Okay, now we got to change it this way, guys.
Right.
How are we going to fix it now? And I think you need that quality to be a successful college football coach in today's day and age. And Kenny's got it. There's no doubt about it going forward. He also talked, well, I tell you what, we got a momentum conversation because the issue's got momentum right now. Let's take our break, come back, keep it going with Kenny Dillingham and College Day. I got one more clip for you. Robert said, isn't Dillingham asking for money part of the job now, like recruiting? Oh, absolutely. He does it differently than everybody else does, was my point earlier. He openly goes to the microphone and asks. Everybody else kind of does it behind the scenes and things like that, which is another way he does it different. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that aspect kind of bothers me. Feels kind of slimy, in my opinion. But it's working for him. Go with it. Come on back. Main event. And we're back here. Main event with Bill Hillestray. He's going to go play golf. He's going to take off about 9:20. Don't worry. We got you covered, of course. Tomorrow, no Lou tomorrow as well. We get Dale all show tomorrow. Just to give you a heads up, tomorrow we are going to end the show about 15 minutes early, 9:45-ish. I do have an appointment with Ethan that we have to get over in Mesa. So that will happen tomorrow, but we'll be here from 8 o'clock to about 9:45 tomorrow. And then Friday, a special edition of the main event coming your way with me and Uncle Lou will be remote. We'll talk the Conor McGregor UFC fight, get you all set up for that for this weekend on Friday as well, which will be nice because it'll be after weigh-ins. So we'll have the most updated Uncle Lou thoughts and everything going into this weekend's fights that come up on Friday.
I'm trying to figure out how he feels about this fight. Just from his little Twitter ramblings. I don't think
he doesn't. He's not a fan of it.
No, I don't think he's a big fan.
I'm guessing he's not a big fan of it. Well, like I said, it's just one: is Conor going to show up? Is there going to be some thing that causes him to back out last minute or something?
Okay.
I don't think so. But the guy hasn't fought in 5 years. Coming off an injury, he got injured last time he was there, a serious foot injury as well. It's just. This to me, he's almost to the point now. Like I said, he lives on an expensive $1 million yacht, lives this expensive lifestyle. To me, it's just like Mike Tyson and that YouTube kid or whatever fighting, Mayweather and that YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's just like this is almost like a gimmick main event card going into this weekend. But that's my opinion. We'll see what Lou feels about it coming up on Friday as well. But we're talking Big 12 Media Day here. Got one more for you on Kenny Dillingham. Of course, ASU. As bad as last year went and as disappointing as it was for all the fans out there in the program, they've still won 19 games over 2 years. I mean, this is unheard of in ASU.
Right.
Other programs do this, and they're just like, oh, they actually think it's a negative, right? Oh, my God, we got to fire this coach. He only won 19 games over 2 years. At ASU, we should be celebrating this, and there's severe momentum around this program going forward for a lot of reasons. You got to keep in mind, too, I just want to keep pointing this out. His coaching staff is such an elite coaching staff. Players are coming here and turning down other offers, for instance, the wide receivers, to come be coached by Hines Ward.
Right.
They can go elsewhere and have success, and they're choosing ASU because they want to be coached by Hines Ward to get to that next level.
Well, again, and we've talked about it for a long, long time on this show, the fact that, yes, Hines Ward is stepping up in the eyes of high school wide receivers. But it used to be there's one choice. If you were an elite wide receiver, you wanted to go to the NFL, you went to Ohio State.
Yes.
Because why? Well, because this guy went, and that guy went, and that guy went, and they're first-round picks. So once you all of a sudden, you get the kid who gets drafted first round last year, and you start to build that resume, now kids go, well, there's something special going on there. And that's a really cool part of a place to be if you're a part of that.
And then you got the kid over at not Perry,
Basha,
Hillenbrand. Yeah, you got him, top level lineman talent being recruited by SEC schools, staying home now and staying here on that side. So that's the momentum we're talking about when we talk about momentum around Arizona State. And Kenny Dillingham talked yesterday, again, one of these little side scrums that he did. The first one was on the podium. These ones are on the side. Kenny Dillingham talks about that momentum and everything and how you keep it going and all that stuff. Here's what he had to say.
They want to watch fun. They want to watch exciting. They want to watch people who care. They want to watch discipline, right? They don't want to watch a game and you have 19 false starts, right? They want to watch a game where the guys are giving everything they have, right? They can see the passion. They can see the discipline. They can see what's been put in outside. And I think that's something we've been able to do the last 2 years is produce a fun team to watch. There was a run there where we had uncharacteristically had a few more penalties than we've had during my tenure here, which I think we got fixed towards the end of the year. And there was a little run there where we weren't quite as physical, as we were. And I think we got that fixed towards the middle of the end of the year. But I think that's what people want to see. They just want to see people care. They want to see people, take their university that they watch and they can respect how we play.
I can't disagree. I can't agree more with Kenny Dillingham.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, think about this. It goes not just college, it's everything. You can suck, but if you put an effort out there, your fans will rally around you.
If you're playing hard. And I think even more interesting to me, more impactful to me is the fact that he admitted it.
Yeah, that's the other side.
And it said middle of the season, we changed.
He admitted it last year during the
that's
season.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
brought it back.
Very, very few coaches are going to come out publicly and acknowledge.
Name another one. I couldn't. I was racking my brain yesterday going, who else talks like this?
Right.
And, I mean, it just gets you this momentum that they're going in the right direction. Doesn't mean they're going to go win a national championship and be a blue blood for the next 10 years and dominate the college football world and stuff like that. But just a coach that gets it. It's not, like, think about this difference here right now, right? The Cardinals. They have positive things to think about, but why are we down on them? Because there's like no hope there, right? They've dashed everybody's hopes and everything. If they would have come out last year and lost every game like they did in the first part where they lost by off thing, you can come out of that kind of being proud, like, all right, now we know we just got to tweak these little things. But the way they were getting blown out just takes your heart out, right? And the way they look like Marvin Harrison Jr. looking like he doesn't give a crap out there and dropping passes. You just get deflated. But if guys are out there working hard, fumbling around, yeah, they might lose games, but they're working, they're showing they're practicing hard. They're doing the right things in games, and they're just not good enough. You can wrap your hands around that and root for that team and be successful with them. And a coach gets it. That's fantastic to see out there. I love that attitude, and it's almost like he's got the fan attitude. And I know people like Bruce Cooper will be like, Steve, you're wrong. You got to win. I'm not saying you lose all the time. I'm just saying if you go through a game and a team plays really well, like I know you're upset that they lost to Texas in that playoff game. But did anybody get down on the team because they lost to Texas? Because they played their hearts out.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the game was 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
But they never give up. They were down early, looked like it could be a blowout, and yet the resolve that they had to come back and make it
cover zero by the defensive coordinator. Just pointing it out again. But no, I heard that from Kenny yesterday as I was going through all the local people they're covering on these scrums and going through their stuff. Fox 10, Devil's Digest did a great job there as well. On 3 did a great job. Sun Devil Source. Brad Sesmat's company, Sports 360, did a fantastic job in their coverage with their outside the podium stuff that they did yesterday. And it's just listening to Kenny talk like that, and I'm just like, thank you, Coach, for saying it. Nobody wants to go to a game and watch your team be sloppy, look like they don't know what they're doing, tons of penalties. That's just not what we want to go see. So go lose the game if you need to, if it happens. But by golly, put your best effort out there and do the best you can. Well, people will be mad you lost, but they'll appreciate it. It's great. It's great. What are we down on the Diamondbacks for? Because it looks like lack of effort. It looks like, they're not making the right decisions. And they don't care that they're a 500 team and they're struggling at times. That's why we're all down on them right now, Dale. If they were going out and the opposite was happening and they were like, Zach Gallen, you got to miss the start. We're trying this. We're trying that. We'd all be more enthusiastic about these guys trying out there. But when it looks like you're not trying, your fan base picks up on that. And that goes a long way for support.
Although I will say in baseball, to me, it's a lot harder to see if a team's all in and playing with enthusiasm and all that. In football, you can see just because of turnovers and penalties and all that. And you can see
baseball's longer term to notice.
Yeah, but with the soccer. I don't understand a whole lot about soccer, but I could tell that the United States the other night were not as energetic, and whatever for whatever reason. I didn't know the reason.
Yeah,
but you can see it with the naked eye. In baseball, it's like, I guess if somebody doesn't run out a grounder to first base,
it's more long term. You can see those small things, but baseball is more longer term over a time frame where you can see it. But I mean, is there anybody in town that think the Diamondbacks are performing at the best level that they could be performing at?
I don't think so.
Yeah, to me at least, it seems like everybody knows they're underperforming. And that's where you get frustrated with these guys. If they were the opposite and they were 500, but they're doing the best they can and they're overperforming and giving the perception they're overperforming, we'd all have a different attitude about it. So Kenny just gets it, man. There's something about this guy that's just amazing, and I just hope he can keep it up. I mean, another baby at home now and going through all this, and it's just like, man, he's got to figure out that life outside of life balance with the way college is changing, and it'd be nice to see if he can keep it up. And young, of course, too. But even young people burn out over time.
Yes.
Tiger Woods did it, right? Well, he got it.
He got burned, but in a different way.
Got burned upside the head. With the thing. But, so there you go. Big 12 Media Day yesterday. Like I said, a lot of lawsuit talk, a lot of legislation talk, some new deals up there. I do like the replay deal where I didn't watch very much ACC football last year. It's just not a very good conference in my eyes, so I didn't watch a lot of it. But I don't remember ever seeing them pipe in where you get to hear the refs talk to each other when they're doing the replays. That's an interesting concept to me because it's just going to shine a light on the process. Doesn't mean we're going to agree with the process, and we're not going to agree with the result on the penalty. But at least you're going to hear the thought process and conversation, which you can respect that more. And it'll take a lot of the tin hat, this ref's against us type of stuff away if you hear the actual conversations and the theory behind why a call is made on the field. I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah.
The Monster Energy logo yesterday when I'm watching it did kind of annoy me already. I just want to say.
I said it yesterday. I think the first time I heard one league was going to put the logos on their jerseys, I'm like, that is so stupid, ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. Haven't we all just become accustomed to them now?
But like you brought up the NBA yesterday. Like the Suns just have a band that says PayPal. You barely notice it. They're going to have the Monster Energy logo on everything.
You don't know where it's going to be yet.
I'm assuming it's going to be. Maybe it's on the shoulder pads. You won't notice, but it's going to be on the field. It's going to be on the basketball. It was on the sign. I don't know, Kobe, do you still have the KD on more video available? If you do, just throw it up. You don't have to play it. Just throw it up for me, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Like, I don't know why this bothers me. Let me know if you have it or not, Kobe, or just throw it up if you have it still. Go ahead and throw it up there. Oh, okay. All right.
That bothers you?
Yeah, right there in the middle. Football Media Days 26.
Yeah.
Monster Energy with that logo. If it just said Monster on it, or Monster Energy, I'd probably be all right with it. It's just that stupid claw marks just stood out yesterday. Huh. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
Well, that might be one of the smartest things you said in a long time. Maybe
just gotta get used to it. Now it's going to be on the courts and everything, Dale. That's the other side of it. It's going to be on the
Are you watching the court or are you watching the players?
I think we found out in the Big 12 basketball tournament last year that if a court's distracting, you notice it.
Well, that was a bit much.
I think we noticed that last year. That's all I'm going to say on that. We noticed it. They should have it be like the 30-yard line and just have the 3 scratch marks as where the 3 goes. And then the 0 after it.
See, you're just gonna obsess over that.
I am.
Next year.
Yeah. As long as they're not crooked numbers like Westwood, we're okay. We'll be okay. Wow. Arizona talks today. I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say. The other team, Cincinnati's today, and like I said, the NCAA this morning sends a letter of inquiry to University of Cincinnati, based around a Brendan Sorsby and his deal. So, Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yarmark met with Texas Tech executives at a Fort Worth steakhouse to address tensions stemming from Sorsby's transfer to Texas Tech, the lawsuits and the gambling, etc. Make no mistake about it. Behind the scenes, no confirmation of this, but I'm telling you guys, there's only one reason Texas Tech is pissed off about it. Because Cincinnati did them dirty, and they know who did them dirty.
Right.
There's no other explanation on why they're losing their minds about this. And it's starting to squeak out a little bit with questions about why Cincinnati hasn't been affected and things like that. And Texas Tech has a lot of money. Texas Tech can leave this conference. That was kind of the gist of the question. If they're not going to. But, it's possible there as well. But when the commissioner meets with your school executives at a steakhouse at Big 12 Media Days to talk about it, there's an issue here. And then you find out this morning the NCAA sends the letter of inquiry to Cincinnati over Sorsby's time in the program. A couple years there as well.
Right. Well, to me, and I've always said this, you talk about Cincinnati being involved with the Texas Tech and Sorsby and all that mess. I would have loved to seen if Sorsby went to University of Miami or went to North Carolina or Washington or somewhere not in the Big 12.
Yeah, went to a rival in the Big 12.
Yeah.
To the school everybody hates in the Big 12 because they're big-pocketed money.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no. Make no mistake about it. It's only because he went to Texas Tech.
And isn't that funny?
That's how I feel.
You said it just very nonchalant because of the big money. You know, if you're just a doormat in any league, nobody dislikes you.
I said that about Sorsby. Sorsby could have gone to Utah, Arizona State, Arizona, UCF in the Big 12. Maybe would have been a blip, but otherwise nothing. He wouldn't have had to go to rehab. Nothing would have happened.
Right.
It's because he went to the school, and it's because Texas Tech, I'm going to say looks like, even though they are, Texas Tech is trying to buy their way into being a blue blood, and that generally people don't like that.
Right.
In the history of sports, you don't like the people that come in and try to bully you with money, and that's the only reason it's happened, and that's why Cincinnati. I have no doubt about it. And like I said, I'm going to alleviate Cincinnati here and say somebody in Cincinnati's orbit. It might not be anybody with the school. It's just somebody that supports the University of Cincinnati had a connection that they let it get to what Sorsby's dealings are.
Right.
So, letter of inquiry, we'll have to see how this goes as well. But I'm sorry, man. The Big 12 commissioner meeting with Texas Tech to kind of simmer down their fear. They're pissed. I make no mistake. Texas Tech is pissed at what they just went through. They feel it was unfounded. They feel it was unwarranted. It's kind of why they dug their heels in at first, I feel like. They kind of went against it with like, we'll sue everybody. Was because they reacted that way because they were like, why are you doing this to us? Because I guarantee you they have info on what he was doing at Cincinnati. Like Cincinnati had info he was doing there and in Indiana beforehand.
Right.
You do background checks on these people. It's just going to be interesting to see how.
Yeah, it would be really, really hard to believe the fact that Cincinnati didn't know anything.
It's impossible. If they didn't know, then it is the most dereliction of duty of anybody signing somebody to play for their program for money. That would be like an NFL team going, we didn't know he did drugs. Did you not do your investigation? Dereliction of duty from that side as well. By the way, Cody Campbell, Texas Tech there, on the Fort Worth meeting at the steakhouse, quote, we want to find a way to get all other Big 12 schools to elevate themselves. Everybody needs to do some version of what we've done. That's the path forward for this conference. A rising tide lifts all boats.
That's pretty sweet.
Well, it's a nice way of putting, hey, cheapskates and losers below us, pick up your game.
I wonder who bought dinner.
Do you think Yarmark pulled
out
his black card?
Now they got all that monster money.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Who paid for that?
Yeah.
If you're Texas Tech, are you like doubling up and stuff to that effect?
No, I want the $400 bottle of wine.
The 400. That's the cheap end there. I mean, Texas Tech views what they have done as just, their buying of the conference is just the necessity right now. Buying of their team as the necessity of college football, and they feel like I'll just tell you, I get the impression they feel like they're being punished because they are trying to buy better players to get better here as well, and nobody else in the conference is doing it to that level, and they feel singled out. I'm not going to argue with you, rightfully so. They need to knock it off because stop being a-holes about it. Do it, but stop rubbing it in everybody's faces. That's your problem, is you're all pompous jerks about it. Hey, when we come back, we got World Cup talk, of course, Major League Baseball. Is Dale halfway off the bandwagon of the Diamondbacks right now? But I got a serious question I've got to ask. I was thinking about this last night during the Diamondbacks game.
Can we pitch Zach Allen every night?
Dale ain't going to like this question. He's going to call me Dale. Come on back, folks. The main event. Second hour coming up next. Back here, main event, second hour. Appreciate you joining us, having some fun, talking college football, Big 12 Media Day yesterday as well. We'll get into that tomorrow as well with Arizona speaking, and pay attention to Cincinnati. I just think Cincinnati is going to handle it a little bit differently than Texas Tech is handling it.
Yeah, you haven't heard much from them, though, have
they're
you?
smart. They're shutting up. And they'll deal with this probably quietly. We're probably not going to hear a lot about it. And they're just going to be like, what do we got to do to squash this? What do we got to do to move on with our lives? Whereas Texas Tech is like, we'll fight you to the death. Of course, don't forget, join us, TME Media AZ on YouTube. Live here. Of course, everything's on demand on YouTube. And over at Rumble, rumble.com/user/TME Media over there as well, including The Real Matrix over there, which is a new episode coming up this Friday as well after taking a last Friday off. Everything's on the free podcast system. Follow us live on TME Media AZ as well. Join in on the conference or on the chat here as well on YouTube, like Robert does, and says, funny how they hate that Texas Tech is using NIL when it's legal and the SEC Big Ten skated by when it wasn't legal. Big SEC, see, that's what we're dealing with right now. I'll say this. The SEC hated that the big SEC schools were cheating. We'll say doing stuff squirrely. But the lower tier SEC schools like Vanderbilt and everything also realized how much money they were making from that happening, so they were okay. They were like, the SEC was all on board with what was happening. Whereas in the Big 12, you have that. Not everybody's on board with Texas Tech doing that. Same thing with the Big 12. Northwestern is more than happy with Michigan, Ohio State doing what they need to do to make a ton of money because it benefits Northwestern.
That and therein lies the rub, the fact that, hey, if you get 3 teams in the college football playoff, that fills a lot of
They're not going to out those schools because it hurts them when they do so. They're more conference oriented than I think the Big 12 is right now. That's what I'm getting at from that perspective, right? Ethan said, that claw looks good. Ethan did tag me on Twitter as well. Don't forget, the chat on YouTube, the text line, 623-252-6670, or, of course, at TME Sports Show on X. Ethan tagged me, my personal account, SMAC500, on a Big 12 logo where the claw was in the background. I think that looks phenomenal. And just the sponsors, I get it. They're sponsoring it, so they need to be in the front. I get it. You know how it works. Trust me, nobody gets it more than a media person on how it works. But the focus should still be the Big 12, not Monster Energy. Unless you're going to rename yourself the Monster Energy Conference.
But again,
I get it.
Are they going after the Steve McCollums of the world?
They just want to get the schools $1 million extra a year.
Yeah. They plaster it all over the place for a couple extra million.
That's just over $1 million per school per year is what is $20 million deal a year from that perspective as well. We'll talk about World Cup coming up here in a little bit. Dale's got to take off at 9:20 coming up here. Some fantastic games yesterday. Oh my goodness. I thought the game started later for that Egypt-Argentina game. My dear God, that's why he's the best player to ever play this game. Messi. Woo, leading that comeback yesterday was amazing. Then that Colombia-Swiss game, which was a defensive battle, which I love. That was a fantastic game as well. I can't get enough of this world. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. And no games today, folks. You're stuck with your Arizona Diamondbacks today.
Again, just like the NBA playoffs, the fact that, when it's the first round, there's a couple games every night for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you go in the second round and maybe every other night.
I'm so bummed, man. France, Morocco tomorrow. Friday, Spain and Belgium. Saturday, Norway and England in the morning, and then the afternoon, Argentina, Switzerland. And then there's several days off before the next game. So brace yourself for this.
You'll be in the semifinals after this round?
This is the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah.
I always get that confused.
Quarterfinals is 8, semi is 4.
The final 4. Then you get your final 2 teams out there.
What's your prognostication?
I still think France is going to win this thing, but Argentina has me worried.
Well, they almost lost last night to Egypt.
I know. I don't disagree with you, but they also showed what they can do and how dangerous they are. No doubt about it. I think France is winning this whole thing. It's just France.
So I guess Pulisic isn't a Messi, huh?
He's Messi, but in an alternate world where Messi's hurt all the time. I saw him on the microphone yesterday. I didn't want to bring that up, but I'll bring it up since you're here. I saw him on the microphone. He's all like, "Well, now I can get healthy now," and he plays in the Italian league, I believe, right? And he's always hurt over there.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, now I can get healthy before I go back to the club soccer and get ready again." And I'm just like, dude, stop. Why are you in front of the microphone?
Right.
Do what good soccer players do. Go back overseas, play for your club team, and we don't ever know you existed here in America. Go do that, would you? It is amazing how they try to force. Remember the Olympics where they had the 2 guys?
Oh, yeah.
And then one of them failed miserably at the Olympics.
Yeah, they were decathletes.
Yeah, something like that. And one of them was terrible.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "You've been forcing this guy down our throat for a year now." And
put him on Wheaties boxes.
Yeah, this guy sucked.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's ads and everything. That's how I feel about Pulisic.
They did try to put.
Oh my God! He was the only guy you got to know on this team because it was on every commercial, every ad, every poster was him. He was terrible.
One of the other guys that I remember was Freeman, and that's because his dad played in the NFL.
Because Antonio Freeman is his dad. Only reason you remember that name.
Yeah.
And then you remember Flo because he got red carded and came back. That was a lively discussion yesterday with Bruce Cooper.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
D-backs lose yesterday 4-1. After a great game, 8-0, you could see it coming. And then with Zach Gallen on the mound, you could see it coming even more. But forget about Zach Gallen for a minute. How did your bats go from all those hits and all those timely hits in the first game to just nothing yesterday? It's just baffling how this team continues to do. And it happens in baseball. Don't get me wrong. It happens. Happens to every team. But it always happens to the Diamondbacks. And that's why you get frustrated with it, man.
Right.
Now, Zach Gallen did go 6 innings yesterday. His ERA went down, Dale. Down to a 6.34 ERA now.
Kind of interesting. You give up 4 runs in the first inning, take whatever wind you had in your sails out of the game, and again.
Yeah, I mean, he settled down after that, but they sent Brendan Pfaadt down because he always had that crooked inning, right? He was the guy that had to come out of the lineup because he's got to figure out that one inning. Now, Gallen's had more than one bad inning. This was the one we had the one. Just the message that they send to this team and to the fan base, but also to this team, of you can't do this, but we're going to let Zach Gallen do it. You can't do this, but we're going to let Perdomo, and we're going to let Marte do it. It's got to be frustrating as all hell.
It does. And again, I think I'm trying to figure out this Gallen thing. Because I think it'd be very difficult to just DFA him.
Yeah, you play the game that you play, though, Dale. Like, he woke up and he's got a sore throat. He's going to miss his start.
Maybe he's a guy that won't go along with that because you owe him $20 million and he can raise a ruckus. And I don't know. Again, last year at this time, he was playing for a big contract extension and all that, and then things kind of spiraled out of control last year.
But he played better after the trade deadline. Remember, he got a little bit better. It wasn't still great, but he got a little bit better to where, you're like, oh, now all of a sudden now pressure's off him and he's playing for a contract. He's playing better.
Yeah.
So does that happen this year? I don't see it happening. Not the way he's pitching. He's terrible. He got guys to strike out last night. Missed the pitch at least, swinging whiffs. That was good to see. It's more to me. Forget that it's Zach Gallen. You can't forget it's Zach Gallen because he's getting preferential. I'll put it this: he's getting preferential treatment that no other pitcher is getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Erod started to, God forbid it doesn't happen, but if Erod started to struggle. Does anybody think they keep throwing him out there? They're going to find an excuse to move to something else. There's just something with Gallen. There's something with Pavin Smith. There was something with ADC for a while there. Now they finally moved off of him, right? Tawa's up and down. You can go through this lineup, Dale. Gurriel, there's something with Gurriel. You can go through this lineup where guys are getting preferential treatment when they're not playing well. Not for a week or two, but for months at a time. They're getting preferential treatment, and we're seeing these guys that are having luck and success, like Groover, comes up here, has some success early, all of a sudden, no more playing time. And the guy that's playing every day is Pavin Smith.
Pavin Smith, he of the 149 batting average.
Was he 0 for yesterday?
0 for yesterday.
I remember right?
Yep.
It is a message being sent that certainly the fan base has caught on. Most of the fan base has caught on. We caught onto it here months ago. But what kind of message is that in the locker room?
Well, here's
if I mess up, I'm out of here. But these guys continue to mess up, and they're still on this team.
Here's the thing I keep hearing from Torrey, and I trust these guys. Well, what you're going to end up doing if you're afraid to make changes is that you're going to trust these guys right out of a job.
Well, it's just like
your job.
Yeah.
And again,
this is what I don't get.
You go to Kenny Dillingham, and we just talked about him, and he was willing in season to make a change, pretty dramatic change.
And his job wasn't on the line last year, and he still found a way to make changes and improve the team as the season went on.
Yes.
Where's that with Torrey? That's where I've been. That's where I've been the last several years with Torrey. Where's your improvements? Where is it? Which kid that comes up now? Corbin Carroll came up and's been, Now, he struggled at the beginning of last year, and he had to work himself out of it. But where's your improvement guys out there? Everybody that comes up and shows success, you end up benching them for the guys you trust that are terrible. This is what I don't understand, Dale, and it's going to my big question here today. If you're Hazen and you're Torrey Lavelle, you know your job's on the line this year. At least Torrey does. When your job's on the line, you expect to see some erratic decisions being made, like almost panic decisions. Torrey's just, everything's good. We're good. Where's your thought and your pride about your job?
Right.
Where is it with them? I can't figure it out. If I was Torrey, Pavin Smith wouldn't see the field anymore. You might not be able to cut him. They might not let you do that. Or you substitute him out in this game because you're in charge of the on-field product.
Right.
You're going to make changes like that to try to save your job, to show your pride that you're trying to do something. Torrey's job is on the line 100%, 1,000% right now. And he's just like, oh, Pavin, have fun, buddy. I trust you, Gallman.
Yeah.
I trust you, Pavin. I trust you, Tawa.
You know what? It's the same thing that I say, like in football. If you're a defense and they keep running the same play at you and just gashing you, well, change something.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess what? That might not work. I mean, if he sits that Gallon for a start or two, that might not work.
No.
But to just do the same thing over and over and expect different.
It's not just doing the same thing, though. It's saying the same. We have trust in Gallon. We know he's going to work himself out of this.
Yeah.
We know what he's going to do. We know what he's capable of. Yeah. Going out there and getting lit up.
He's gonna fix it next year in Kansas City when he signs for the veteran minimum.
God, I hope he's on the worst team in baseball. I hope he's on the Rockies next year. Gets lit up with those.
And all of a sudden you throw gems against the Diamondbacks.
He's like McCarthy. He just dominates. This is where I question it. Where's Torey Lovello's pride? Where's Mike Hazen's pride right now? It just your jobs are on the line. Definitely Torey. Hazen, you can question that a little bit. But where's your fight? Where's your fight that you want to keep this job? It's not there. And I came to this realization yesterday before the game, and then I'm watching the game, and it's just bugging me even more. You see, anytime your job's on the line, you see it in football a lot, where all of a sudden coaches are like, we're benching everybody, and these guys are playing.
Right.
Basketball, same thing. All the starters are out, and we're going to play our bench guys to start the game. Like, you're just trying all this random stuff that everybody goes, okay, that ain't going to work, but at least you're trying something.
Right.
Guys. What's Torey doing to try to change this?
Doesn't seem like
with
anything.
His job on the line. No. And that's where I think my frustration comes into. So here's the question of the day, Dale. You take off. All-Star break is next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you're Hazen, your job's on the line. Is somebody going to step up and make a change in this organization to try to save their job?
Trade deadline's August 3rd.
I'm not talking trade deadline.
Right.
I'm talking coaching change, manager change, GM change if you're Derek Hall. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but don't you want to see something change during the All-Star break? Because they're going to come back and be the same team again. And we know what this team is, a 500 team who disappoints you. They're like my dad, man. It's always disappointing. That was a joke. 2024, they were 45 and 46 at this point. 2025, they were 45 and 46. 26, this year, they're 45 and 46. Who's going to step up and fight for their job in the second half of this season? Or are they just going to let it roll? Don't you want to see a change? Bench coach, pitching coach, hitting coach, manager? Derek Hall says we're going to go a different direction on GM for the. That'd be a stupid move with the trade deadline coming up, by the way. But don't you want to see a change come somewhere? DFA a guy?
That's, again, I think at this point in the season, changing a third base coach, there was a year, 3 or 4 years ago where the third base coach was running everybody.
And they kept him out there. They kept him for too long, and then Torey was finally forced to make the move.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't notice anything egregious like that right now.
I'm just. To me, this is an opportune time if you're Hazen to say, I got to fight for my job. We got to make a change. This team is 500 team, and Hazen's out there saying how disappointing this team is right now. You want to fight for your job, make a bold change for the second half of the year. It might not improve, Dale. It might not improve.
But
we know what we know what's going to happen if they don't make any changes.
Right.
So is somebody, but I mean by a position, Torey could get rid of a coach, is what I'm getting at. If he show he's going to fight for his job. Our batting is struggling. We're going to make a change, an operational change in our hitting coach and our hitting style, and bring a fresh voice in. Something as simple as that. But who is going to fight for the second half of the season? Because we know what they are.
They're perfectly average.
I know the answer to this, Dale. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. and feed us the bullcrap. But wouldn't it be refreshing if somebody fought for their job? It might not work out. It might be worse. But they're all going to unemployment right now. So why not try something? The lack of effort to save your job. They're just like, they're like a couple that's been married for 50 years. I'm not referring to Helistrace here, because they're just madly in love with each other. But they just go through the motions because they're like, it's too rough. I can't get rid of him. I'll just wait till he dies. You know, I'm just so used to him being around.
It's like that.
I feel like Tori's
like that rash.
Tori's just like, I'm a Diamondbacks manager. That's what I do. Until they tell me otherwise. Whatever. Who cares? He's just content to be here. I want to see somebody fight. So keep that in mind going into when you leave here. Should we see what the All-Star, but the perfect time to do it is next week. Should we see something? I don't think we will,
and I think a DFA, I think like a Pavin Smith. If you want to talk about the pitcher last night, you make a move that it would send a little shockwave through the locker room.
Yeah, gotta send.
Yeah,
sending down ADC doesn't send a shock message to bring up James McCann. They need to do something. Who's going to do something drastic to show they're trying to save their job? It needs to be done at the All-Star break. So who's going to do it? The answer is nobody.
Steve McCollum.
Dale Hillstraight, get out of here and go play some golf. Go beat those old men.
Hey, you give yourself 25, 30 minutes of soccer, Steve. Soccer. Messi. Forever.
I got some more baseball. You talk about Dion again. He's selfish.
Oh, you didn't? Did you record his interview?
No. Oh, I did. He's not a fun guy to watch. Isn't it?
Prime. I'm prime.
I don't find him enjoyable.
We need to come up with a nickname for you, Steve. Are you prime time?
No, I got 1,000 nicknames. Big Steve. Morning time. Morning drive. Dale, get out of here. Come on back, folks. I'll get you the rest of the way. And we're back here, main event here on this Wednesday. Got to remember what day this is here. I'm all confused anymore with the vacation last week. And Dales takes off playing some golf today, and hopefully he stays hydrated out there with the, of course, outrageous temperatures we're having out there as well. And I'll get you the rest of the show. Don't forget, tomorrow, just me and Dale tomorrow. We're going to end the show a little bit early tomorrow, about 9:45, just giving you a heads up. Plan your day around it, of course. But me and Ethan have an appointment at 10:15 over in Mesa we've got to get to. Nothing bad. It's actually a good thing. It's for his future there. So we got to get over to that. So we'll end tomorrow about 9:45. And then, of course, we're normally off on Fridays at this time of year. Doing that this year. And, well, we're going to come in this Friday as well. We're going to be live when Lou comes in. He's going to come on remote. We're going to do him on Friday. He's out of town, coming back tomorrow on his normal Thursday show. So we will be doing just a Lou show on Friday. Me and Lou a remote as well. Right now the plan is 9 o'clock because he's traveling in. If it changes, I'll definitely get it posted on the TME X site as well as on TME Media AZ that you want to be following as well. Robert says, are the Columbia guys that miss kicks still alive? Yeah, I like how that stigma, what was that, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, when own goal, and then, of course, some crazy person in Colombia, ended that guy's life for doing that on goal for Colombia. I like how that's still a thing around Colombia as well. That was just fantastic defensive game yesterday. I enjoyed it so much. We'll talk about World Cup here coming up as well, but the other thing I want to talk about on Diamondbacks that we didn't get to with Dale, Robert says, did you see Gallen's face in the dugout when Torrey was talking to him? Looked like he couldn't care less what he had to say. Not only did we pick up on that, Robert, you and me and a lot of other people pick up on that. Did you see, like, the Diamondbacks have rules and stuff on when they're allowed to challenge? And Perdomo challenged that pitch early in the game. So you have that side of it. And Steve Berthiaume. Now, I watched the broadcast on MLB, is where I watch it at. I pay for the service and I watch it there to get it when I travel or I'm on the road or whatever. And that gives me the option of listening to a radio broadcast or a TV. And I usually choose the radio broadcast. So I did not hear this live. I heard about it afterwards. But Steve Berthiaume lost his mind, right? And basically excoriated Perdomo for challenging that pitch in that moment. It was the wrong place to challenge it, no doubt about it. It was the wrong. He ended up winning the challenge, and then he next pitch hit to an out. So it was a wasted. Even though he won it, it was a wasted challenge. Wrong moment to challenge. You should never do that, regardless of your club's policy and stuff. So Steve Berthiaume's not wrong on whether it was the wrong time to challenge it, etc. But the broadcast crew went way out of its way to complain about a player challenging this in the wrong moment. I listened to the audio afterwards, and it was shocking how out of the way Steve Berthiaume went to complain about that challenge. Then you've got the facial expression when Torrey's talking to Gallen. You've seen it with some other players this year as well. We know Marte doesn't always listen to him. We know that. We do. We've questioned it in years past. They're not listening to Torey Lovello, are they? Are they toning out their manager? Are they not listening to him? That's a legit question here, folks, moving forward. And a lot of that, in my opinion, I'm not in the locker room, and people that are in the locker room swear this isn't the case, but they wouldn't know. They're not in the locker room in those private moments and things to that. They're in the locker room when it's open to them. Players on their best behavior and stuff like that. Right? But again, it goes back to what we were talking about before that break with Dale. The constant favoritism is what I'm going to call it. The trusting of Zach Gallen, the trusting of Pavin Smith, the constant, we're going to keep running them out there. We know what they can do. We trust them comments coming, not just from Torey Lovello. Derek Hall said it last week. The comments, think about last year when the Ketel Marte stuff came up. All of that in that locker room. The fact that the Marte stuff keeps getting leaked to reporters and not handled internally. We've questioned if there's an internal locker room issue. We're not saying it's terrible and bad where nobody wants to come and play and stuff like that. That might be the case, though. But they're tuning out the coaching staff. They're just doing what they want to do at this point. It's a legitimate question, folks. Now we'll find out more about it and things to that effect. But it's a legitimate question. In that moment, I can understand Zach Gallen being upset that he gave up the 4 runs in the first and then pitched well for the other 5 innings. I can understand him being upset when Corey's talking to him and kind of, glazing over while he's talking to him. In that moment, I can understand that. But on the same day that the broadcast coming out and excoriating a player for doing it was a bad challenge, folks. He won it, but it was a stupid time to challenge. And the Diamondbacks have rules on not challenging in that situation. You challenge in that moment because you're not afraid of the repercussions when you get back to the dugout. Fines, conversations. You're not afraid of them. That's when you challenge like that. I watch a lot of other baseball out there. Nobody on the Milwaukee Brewers is doing that because they know when they get back in there, Pat Murphy's going to have something to say to them, and they don't want to face it. Just as an example. Same thing on the line. That goes for star players. We've kind of questioned it, but there's no proof of it. We've kind of questioned the play on the Diamondbacks these last couple of years has been tuning out the coaching staff. But there's been no proof of it. People that are in that locker room covering them have told me and been public about there's nothing going on in this locker room. This locker room is solid. But don't let your eyes tell you, don't listen to them tell you what your eyes are telling you and what your ears are telling you. There's something going on here. And anytime a broadcaster, especially a Diamondbacks broadcaster, who gets handed notes during a game on what he's supposed to be talking about, they get told what to talk about and what not to talk about to make the Diamondbacks look favorable. And he's excoriating a player. He's talking about a player and going on for 5 minutes about that player challenging a pitch. That means Berthume has the okay to attack a player and go after a player for that. Why? Defend the manager and the organizational side of it. And go after the player instead. Make no mistake about it. That's what happened yesterday with that play. Broadcaster openly challenging and calling out a player for a challenge. That only happens when you're allowed to do it. The organization is changing. And I brought up that take before. Robert said about the All-Star game. Who's going to fight for their job? Because right now, we know Torrey's gone if they don't make the playoffs, right? We all think Torrey's gone if he doesn't make the playoffs. He ain't making the playoffs the way this team's playing. They're not. Is Hazen going to be around? Or are they going to get rid of Hazen in this moment as well? Use the advantage to reset the whole team. So is Hazen's job on the line? You're not, that one we're a little unsure of. I can tell you this, if Hazen, they don't make the playoffs again this year, can Hazen blame, Torrey? Absolutely. Am ownership going to agree with it? Debatable. Who's going to make the changes to try to change something during the All-Star break? Perfect time to do it. 4 days off, you can make adjustments, you can make the changes, you can have players move around, practice, etc. If they come back with the same team, the ownership is then content. We're trying to figure out, and here on this program, we've been trying to configure out, if I can talk, we've been trying to figure out how high it goes in the organization. Torrey and Hazen are in on it with the apathy around this program and the way they play. They're solely responsible for those two guys are. We're trying to figure out, does it go to Derek Hall? Does it go to the owner, Ken Kendrick? Still an unknown in my eyes. Derek Hall went on a broadcast and defended Zach Gallen last week and said he's our guy. We've never thought about moving him on. Is that just bloviating from the president of the organization? Because he's not going to throw a manager under the bus or anything like that publicly. Or is he complacent with the complacency in the 500 team of the Diamondbacks? I'm telling you guys, the reason why I'm frustrated, I won't speak for you, the reason why I'm frustrated with the Diamondbacks is simple. A ton of talent and underperforming to epic levels. And I don't think a manager change during the All-Star break is going to all of a sudden get you a blip and you're going to go on a huge run. But we know keeping the manager here means you're not going to do that. I'm not saying changing Hazen before the trade deadline is going to all of a sudden command better trades and sell-offs and stuff to that effect. But we know what's going to happen if he does stay here. Interesting. Just something food for thought for you guys out there is all I'm trying to do with this point. I think they're just going to. This team has been fine with being a 500 team for the last 10 years. They're fine. No desire to be a great team. They're just fine being mediocre. Not going to change now. You'd like it to. Otherwise, they're just working their way into the unemployment line. Some people do that, you know. They're just content. Robert says, Berthume is no different than a certain radio guy spouting Tory's talking points. Gee, who are you talking about there? The difference is Berthume is paid by the Diamondbacks, and I don't know if they still do it. I know for a while there, they would just walk in the middle of a game and give him talking points on note cards. You know, or if he said something and went onto a subject he's not supposed to, they'd go in there and correct him and move him back out of it. I don't know if they still do that. I'm assuming they do as well. But a broadcaster for the team excoriating a hitter and making it that he won, by the way, so they kept the challenge. But then continuing to talk about it and go after that player for that issue. He only does that when he's comfortable doing it and he knows there's no blowback. Make no mistake about it. But Thume's not a stupid guy. He's not going to go out there and say stuff to get him fired. He's gonna say what they want him to say. He's not dumb. That's just part of doing that job, folks. That's it. Throw up the NL wild card here as well for me, if you would. Oh, wow. Justin Verlander, by the way, has been named to the AL roster as a legend pick for this year's All-Star game. Robert Manfred announced that today as well. So, legend pick. How'd you like to be still active in Major League Baseball and you're a legend pick for the All-Star game? It's pretty funny. Diamondbacks and Padres here. 1-1 in this series. 2 games left in this 4-game series before the Diamondbacks move up to L.A. to play the Dodgers for 3 before the All-Star break. So they're battling it out here at 45 and 46. Diamondbacks are 4-6 in their last 10. Padres are 2-8. I will say this, man. It was nice seeing Miller there as the closer for the Padres. It's just that kid is special. Special kid as the closer there. But right now you're battling it out with your division mate here for 4th place in the wildcard standings. But you noticed a trend. Now, plenty of baseball left after the All-Star break here, right? But you also notice the other difference? Diamondbacks and Padres are kind of just stuck here at 45, 46 wins. Everybody else is starting to pull away a little bit, right? 47 for the Nationals, 47 for the Pirates, 47 for the Cardinals. Then, of course, the top 3 are in the 50s now. You are 5 games back, 4.5 games back from that 3rd play-in spot by the Marlins, who are still playing well. They dominated June, best team in baseball in June. As you can see there, they've won 4 in a row here in July already here in the last 4 games. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Marlins are on fire. But here's the problem. 500 is not getting you anywhere near the playoffs this year. 5 games over 500 is not going to get you in most likely. Because you're already 4.5 games back from those wild card spots. Plenty of baseball to go, but that's kind of my argument here. You know what this Diamondbacks team is. Derek Hall, Ken Kendrick. You know what this Diamondback team is. Do you want to make a push for the playoffs with the talent you have? Or are you content with just selling your guys come August 3rd? Selling your guys, selling Sirocco as he comes back healthy, selling your expiring contracts, and you're fine just being a 500 team for the rest of the year and writing out Torrey's contract at the end and Hazen's contract at the end? Or do you want to try something different? We know the answer. Maybe dreams can come true, and maybe they'll figure it out on the other side. I don't think so, but maybe we'll get lucky here, folks. What do we got to talk about? Hey, really quick on the World Cup. We'll end with the World Cup. No games today, unfortunately. Gets underway again tomorrow with the quarterfinals France, Morocco tomorrow, 1 p.m. Friday, Spain, Belgium, which is going to be a fantastic game. Two precision teams here as well. Spain, Belgium is going to be a lot like Spain, Portugal was. If you enjoyed that game, just a epic battle back and forth, shots on goal. You're going to get good saves. You're going to have good defense. You're going to get offensive chances. It's going to be a low-scoring affair and just a battle there between Spain and Belgium. That's going to be a fun little game to watch on Friday. Then Saturday, you got two games. Norway, England is going to be the early game at 2 p.m. Then Argentina, Switzerland coming up at 6 p.m. Switzerland is one of, if you watched that Switzerland-Colombia game yesterday, big defensive battle. If not the two best defensive teams in international soccer, definitely two of the best. Colombia and Switzerland. Ended up going to the penalty kicks, just goaltenders making saves all game. It was fantastic. Argentina's got a battle ahead of them here against Switzerland's defense and everything. But when you got Messi, it kind of changes your whole style of offense, and you're never out of it. And if you caught that game yesterday, Argentina-Egypt, we got off air and Egypt was up 1-0. I can understand why Egypt's upset after this game. They get a goal call back because of a penalty that happened on the other end of the field like 15 seconds earlier. VAR had to go back and look at it, and they let them play on. They scored. They called it back because of something that happened on the other end of the field on a penalty. I can understand soccer has a VAR problem. No doubt about it. My opinion is, as you guys know, replay's supposed to be getting it right regardless. You can argue it got it right by calling that penalty on the other end. You also should have called it dead. So I can understand that. Egypt does end up scoring another goal there, makes it 2-0. And Argentina's just going. I think where Egypt went wrong was they went into defensive mode up 2-0. And then anytime you're up by 2-0, it's easy for you to lose momentum in that game. Argentina scored the first goal. All momentum was lost for Egypt. All of a sudden, referees started booking people with yellow cards that he wasn't doing earlier. I can understand why Egypt's upset after that game. I can. Their coach came out, flat out said he felt that the narrative came out during that game that Argentina needed to win it. I'm not saying that's happening. I think Egypt's to blame for this by their style that they changed to after they went up 2-0 and they couldn't recover from it. But I certainly understand Egypt's feelings. But Argentina wins that game 3-2. Fantastic. They were down 2-0. Argentina was. But in the 83rd minute. 3 goals in the last 15 minutes, including stoppage time to win that game. Then you go from that to Switzerland, Colombia. Just a defensive battle between these teams. Shots going off. Goaltenders making unbelievable plays. Headers being blocked out. It was just fantastic. I can't go over enough how much I enjoyed that Switzerland-Colombia game. Argentina-Switzerland is going to be a fun one coming up on Saturday as well. Between those two games yesterday. Like I said, the sad part is no games today. So we got to start getting used to that coming up. Because after the quarterfinals, right? So tomorrow and Friday, France, Morocco, Spain, Belgium. Winner of those two games. They don't play until Tuesday. So you got tomorrow, Thursday, Friday for those two. They don't play until Tuesday, those two teams. Then the championship game is until Sunday. So we get a little bit of a break here coming up. And then Norway, England. Argentina, Switzerland. They both play Saturday, 2 p.m., 6 p.m. They next play on Wednesday. So you got tomorrow, Friday, 1 game each. 2 games on Saturday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday. The following week is the championship game for the World Cup. Man, I'm going to miss this tournament. This has been so much fun. And I don't know. I keep going back and forth. This tournament has been so great. And I watch a lot of World Cup. I watch UEFA, I watch CONCACAF, I watch all that nonsense. This is the most fun I've had watching soccer. Now, is it because it was in the United States? Well, I've seen how the game's played in the United States. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is that. Maybe it's just simply it's the United States. Because the United States is doing what they've done the last 4 World Cups they've been in. They missed 2018. They've gone to the round of 16. It wasn't this exciting as it was before either. So I'm kind of torn on why it is special and things this year compared to other years out there um, as well. But it is fun. I'm gonna miss it. Gonna miss it a lot. But we turn around and we go right into football, right? Hall of Fame game coming up less than a month from now. We look forward to Cardinals training camp coming up with no quarterbacks except for Gardner Minshew on that team as well. Yeah. Diamondbacks, by the way, play tonight. Padres 7:10 p.m. from San Diego tonight. Then tomorrow 6:40 p.m. for them. They're just going up the road there to Dodger Stadium on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the end of the week. Big pitching matchup issues on that Dodgers series coming that way as well. You know, still have still have a Zach Gallen problem. Merrill Kelly kind of made you feel better about himself on Saturday with the way he pitched. But still, you got a 2-starter problem with these guys out there. And being Wednesday today, you've got Jose Cabrera back on the mound tonight against Michael King for the Padres. 7 p.m. first pitch. Third time now that Cabrera is going to get a start, and I've liked what he's done in his first 2 games. But now he's on film. Teams are able to break down that movement of his throws. On the road again, San Diego, that crowd, even though that team's scuffling, that crowd's going to be tough. It's going to be fun watching the young kid get out there and see what he can do tonight for your Diamondbacks. But the big story is, regardless of what he does, it's hard to win games when you don't score enough as your opponent. That screwed up my do you know. Let's try that again. Baseball's a very easy sport. It's hard to win games if you don't score more than your opponents. Some would say it's impossible. I'm not as negative as them. I'll give you a 90% chance of winning a game if you don't score more than your opponent. I don't want to be as negative as impossible. So to me, it comes down to the bats. Jump on King early, score some runs. Don't start the game in a negative light where you're down 4-0 or 4-1 in the case of yesterday. Sets a bad precedent out there. Tomorrow you got Merrill Kelly going. Another pitching concern you got as well throughout this up here. You've got a chance, if you win 2 more games in this series, whoever does it, Padres or Diamondback, you got a chance to put some distance here between the team in your division and the wild card standing before the All-Star game. You got to take advantage of it. Coming up is my opinion. You got to take advantage of it. So we'll see tonight as well from that side. Let's check here as we're wrapping up the program here on this Wednesday. Don't forget tomorrow, no Uncle Lou tomorrow. We're going to do the show, me and Dale. Dale's doesn't go do his hit as they're on vacation over there at KUPD tomorrow. But we will be here tomorrow. We're going to go off air about 9:45 tomorrow, just to give you a heads up on the plan, 15 minutes early. Ethan and I have an appointment we got to get to at 10:15 over in Mesa. So we will end a little bit early. But this Friday, we're coming in for an hour show with Uncle Lou. He's going to join us remotely. He's been on vacation and going to come in, of course, UFC this weekend as well. It's a numbered event. This is the one where Connor McDavid gets back in the ring, or at least is scheduled to get back into the ring as well for him. Now, the interesting thing about Luke coming in on Friday is it's after the weigh-ins. And, of course, it's McGregor-Holloway this weekend. Other fights on this card are going to be fun. UFC 329 coming up this weekend as well. Paddy Pimblett gets back into the ring against just an absolute killer of a fighter. This dude is impressive. This dude is scary. Just no nonsense. An old, special forces guy for the France military. Benoit Saint-Denis is going up against Paddy Pimblett. I just don't know how. We'll have to ask Lou about this. I just don't know how you don't favor Saint-Denis in this fight over Pimblett. It's just going to be fun to watch. I don't know how you don't favor Holloway in that Conor McGregor fight. They're both favorites, by the way, going into it now. But Mario Bautista, which is, at least he was, an MMA lab fighter up there in Phoenix. He's going against Corey Sandhagen this weekend. This is a full card, so you're going to want to tune in. King Green gets back in the ring this weekend against Terrence McKinney. King Green is the underdog. I like the way King Green fights. I'll have to ask Lou if there's an upset chance here with King Green over Tennis McKinney this weekend as well for this fight. So Lou's going to be on Friday this week. We're going to come in. Right now it's scheduled for 9 o'clock. Unless he changes it to earlier, we're going to come in and do that show on Friday. We'll do it up live like we always do, just that segment. And then, of course, as soon as we're done, we'll get it up on demand. But we get him after weigh-ins, so we'll kind of know his thoughts after weigh-ins. That's why I don't think it'll move earlier, is because he'll want to watch the weigh-ins in the morning and everything. So we'll get kind of his thoughts if there's anything to be. I don't think these are all professional fighters, at least in the main card here, and a lot of the prelims. So I don't think there's going to be any concerns. I guess you can want to see Conor McGregor on the on the scales and how he looks like after his 5-year hiatus. I did see Conor McGregor on the beach over in California. So not me personally. I saw a video of him on the beach. He looked like he was in shape. I'm going to lie to you. I was just walking around out there a couple weeks ago. He looked like he was in shape. So that'll be fun. So Lou's coming on Friday. We're going to come in and do a quick show on Friday with Uncle Lou. So make sure you schedule that and come in and join us for that as well, to talk UFC this weekend as well. So Diamondbacks tonight, no World Cup, Big 12 Media Day. Today, Arizona, Brent Brennan gets up there, talks about his program and the expectations for them. I'm looking forward to hearing what they say. Like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm knocking these other coaches. I'm knocking Prime. I'm knocking Deion Sanders. He just made it all about himself yesterday, and that just irks me the wrong way. It's not just because he's Deion Sanders. I just making it about himself on the price for the EA Sports just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, like it does. But it is interesting watching the differences between other coaches and then Kenny Dillingham. Man, it is just a difference. I don't know how to explain it if you watch it. So I'm not expecting fire. It's not a knock on Brent Brennan. He's just not that fiery guy like Kenny Dillingham is. But a lot of people are picking Arizona to finish 5th in the Big 12 right now. We're talking USA Today and some other entities. Have them picked in their 4th, 5th, or 6th spot generally going into this. Obviously, Fafita returning with some big receivers coming back. Spivey's back for them, and that defense should be improved this year. It's going to be fascinating to see his comments today as they go into this season as well. So Big 12 today, and I want to see what happens around Cincinnati with that letter of NCAA sending that letter of investigation to Cincinnati over their dealings with Sorsby when he was there. So I want to see what kind of the talk is around Cincinnati. I don't think it's going to be fiery. I don't think we're going to get new information necessarily, but it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. Because they're going to handle it completely different than Texas Tech. I told you that earlier in the show. Texas Tech was like, let's fight over this. And Cincinnati, I think, is going to bow down a little bit more and just be like, all right, here's what we know. Here's what we did. Let's move on from it. What do we need to do to move on from it? They're going to be a little bit more respectful of the process as opposed to Texas Tech was, I'm guessing. So let's see how that works out as well from that side. I told you publications are starting to do things like, where your team is. Should they sell? Should they not sell? The other day, the Athletic had the Diamondbacks as a hinge team, meaning they could go on a winning streak so they can buy. They could go on a losing streak, which will make them sell. That's kind of that's how they labeled them a few days ago. In terms of the Diamondbacks. Well, today they came out with a new article on teams that could sell and things to that stuff. What they say about the Arizona Diamondbacks is pretty simple. We know that their needs are starting pitching. 2 of their 5 are not pitching well and have high ERAs out there. So we know that's a deal. We know they need a left-handed power bat because Pavin Smith ain't in. Soroka, though, is kind of waking up a little bit. I'm not Soroka, excuse me. Kepler's starting to wake up a little bit. Just saying. Everybody needs bullpen depth this time of year, so everybody throws that into these things here as well. So can Kepler continue to keep improving at the major league level here? Now, but keep in mind, this is what cracks me up. So Kepler can dominate, go on this big run, get you to the playoffs, and then can't play in the playoffs. But the Athletic here today says
If the Diamondbacks buy, they say they're going to focus on relievers, as coming into the thing. Because the expectation is Brandon Pfaadt's going to pitch well for him. You're going to get Sirocco back as well, type of a deal. So that's what they see for the Diamondbacks. They're basically telling you Diamondbacks, at least the Athletic today, in this article says they're going to buy probably some bullpen pitching here coming up. Yeah. I just question if they're a 500 team and they're 4 or 5 out of the wild card, how they're going to buy. They're going to be out of the playoffs, outside looking in with the way they're playing. Does the power bat, does relief pitching get you better? I'm not too sure it does. So I don't know. We're starting to see those kind of guesses that are going on out there and people talking about what their style is and everything. So, hey, folks, I appreciate you joining me here for the end of the show. Of course, me and Dale. Dale will be here all show tomorrow. We will wrap up the show a little early tomorrow, about 9:45, so everybody can get out of here to their appointments tomorrow. But we'll be here. Dale will be with me all show. Uncle Lou on Friday at 9 o'clock, remote. We're going to do a Friday show this week with Uncle Lou. Get you ready for UFC this weekend with Conor McGregor, Holloway. The big fights on that. So make sure you join us Friday live. Follow us at TME Media AZ as well. We'll put it out there as well, reminding you where we are. Of course, we'll post everything at TME Media as well for you out there. And appreciate you joining me. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great Wednesday night. Stay cool out there, Arizona, if you're in Arizona. Woo, getting hot. For everybody else and the rest of hopefully, like those of you in Chicago that watch, and Virginia, Florida, Georgia, hopefully you guys cool down because you guys had this last weekend. Woo, it's brutal. See you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great night.